At Sunny 102.1. It is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. A couple of guests in the studio with me right now. Hello.
Good morning.
You guys are going to have to get up a little bit closer to the microphones there. Otherwise, you sound like you're in a garbage can or something. Ladies first. Hi, who are you?
My name is Alyssa Caudill. I'm a junior high science teacher at South Bend Junior High, and I teach a leadership class.
Okay. And you, sir, are?
I'm Robert de Groot. I'm from the Southern California Earthquake Center at the University of Southern California.
Yeah, he's got that USC. You know you're in Husky country and Cougar country.
I know. I've been reminded of that a few times.
And so he wears his USC sweatshirt proudly.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, we're here to talk. We're here to talk about earthquakes in a way, but also that you're instructing kids on earthquakes and stuff. First off, I'm going to talk to the teacher. What's he doing here?
My students have currently been learning about earthquakes and tsunami preparedness and the science behind earthquakes. And so I met Bob at a recent conference in October with a friend of mine, Key McMurry, and we have decided to bring him up to the Pacific County area to have him install what's called a quake catcher in the schools. So.
A quake catcher. Okay. Come on, Robert. What is a quake? I mean, I've seen dream catchers. What's a quake catcher?
The Quake Catcher Network is a low-cost seismic network where a very small seismometer, the size of a matchbox.
Really?
And we've been installing them about 13 different locations around Pacific County. And they're able to pick up earthquakes. And there's a wonderful seismic network here, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, but these sensors do a really good job also of adding to the already great information that's collected.
Now, where does the information go to? Does it go down to USC or does it go to the schools? Or?
The information is set up to be stored at Stanford University.
Okay.
And then that information is then passed on to whatever seismic network it is relevant to, so either in California or elsewhere.
Okay. And these little, I mean, just little itsy bitsy seismic. Do they run on like internet or something? Or, I mean, Wi-Fi? Is that how the information gets? How does it work, man?
This is the great part.
How does it work?
It's totally cool how this works. Is that people volunteer to donate some of their computer time. They basically plug the sensor into a USB port. And when the earthquake is felt, their computer collects the information and then pops it up to the server.
Really?
So it's this new emerging area called citizen science.
Hey, that's cool. And
Yes.
so you already have people set up in Pacific County to have these in their computers?
We do. We actually have installed at a few homes, but we've installed in the entire school district in Ocean Park. And in various other schools, and also on the Shoalwater Native American Reservation.
Right. Now, what are you going to go talk to her students and other students down in the Pacific County area?
We already have.
You already did that. Okay.
He spoke on Tuesday to the students and kind of gave them a demonstration, talked to them a little bit about preparedness, and then today he'll actually be getting to have a chat, a career discussion with some of the seniors at South Bend High School. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Career, like a career chasing earthquakes?
Oh, many careers. A lot of where things are going these days is in the direction of information technology. So one of the major communication points that we want to get across to the students is that as much as you can do to learn about computer science and programming, coding, that kind of thing is going to be vastly important because that's where all the science is going.
Now, let's talk about earthquakes. We up here have they always say it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. We have a subduction zone or whatever it is. Is that the right word? Right off the coast.
Yes.
Just several miles off the coast.
Yes.
And it has happened in the past. It will happen again. Now, you're from Southern California. They have little shakers there all the time.
We have 20 to 30 earthquakes a day in Southern California.
Yeah, right. But around here, not that bad. But when the big one hits, I mean, it's the big one. I mean, they say when. Is it really when the big one's going to hit around here?
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
The last really big subduction earthquake here was in 1700, a magnitude 9 earthquake. And that's actually why Washington has taken a really proactive role in participating in the Great Shakeout Drill, which is it's done on the third Thursday of October.
Right.
So this year it's going to be on October 16 at 10:16 a.m.
Aha, okay.
So-
And that's the thing. We should be concerned about that.
Yes, definitely. And they actually just opened the registration website at shakeout.org/Washington, and people can register and learn more about how to prepare for the next big earthquake.
Okay, now along with an earthquake comes a tsunami, and we saw a lot of video out of Japan and everything with the tsunami that happened over there after their earthquake. The same thing could happen here.
Yes.
And I did notice a lot of video that was taken from like 5th and 6th stories of like parking garages and big buildings and everything of the tsunami rushing on in, and they've been talking around here about having, instead of building along the beaches big old cement structures that you could run up if a tsunami was on the way or something. Does that work? I mean, a big old tsunami, I mean, will it stand?
Yes, there are many areas here are very close or at sea level.
Yeah,
and so having
like
something
where you're sitting right now.
yes, it's always in my mind.
Yeah,
But the point is yes, that anything that you can do to survive, and people have really thought this out, to get above the water line is very, very important. So
okay,
it'll work.
and those structures will I mean, the people designing these and putting them up are
Oh, they know what they're doing.
they know what they're doing.
In some Pacific islands, actually, there are trees. The only thing to go up are trees, so people are assigned their individual trees to climb up as the tsunami is coming at them. So I think these structures also will have the same ability to protect people.
Now, I've also heard that it could be as high as like a 9.2 quake if we have one around here.
You're looking in the magnitude 9 range, definitely, with this type of tectonic
Someone
regime. So-
someone also told me that if the quake is hard enough to knock you down, that's when you start heading for high ground.
Yes, exactly. Once the earthquake is the main shaking is over, because the shaking will be so intense from an earthquake this size is you won't even be able to get up off the ground. So this is why we tell people to drop, cover, and hold on. And then once the shaking is over, then get to high ground.
Okay, that's
Yes.
it. Must be an interesting thing for you and your students.
Yeah, it's
Is it scary for the students?
there's a little bit of gloom and doom, a little bit of the fear factor, but it's a hook. The kids are really engaged in it, and I guess the take-home point for these kids is not to be afraid of it, but to be prepared.
There you go.
Right now, what they're doing is they're learning about the science of earthquakes, and they're actually taking a test right now, and they will then learn about tsunamis. And then as a leadership class that I also teach, sometime about mid-May, they'll be doing a community awareness assembly where it's open to the public, and they'll be talking about how to prepare go bags and go kits for your car, your home, your pets, and how you can better prepare to evacuate after the ground stops shaking. So.
And that's something else. Have a family plan, because
Absolutely.
you may be at work, you may be at school, kids may be other places. You need to have a family plan so that if something like this does happen and not everybody's together, how to get together.
Absolutely. It's a part of that citizen science and preparedness that the students are really going to be taking it home and educating their parents, their community, friends, family, etc. So, yep, it's all about the family plan and knowing what to do.
Citizen science, that's sort of like the future, huh?
It is. People can have a real effect on better understanding earthquakes and other things as well.
What got you interested in earthquakes, besides living in Southern California and going through 20 or 30 a day?
I experienced my first earthquake in 1973. It was the San Fernando earthquake, and I was only about 4 years old at the time, and something about it just left an impression with me. And as I grew up, I experienced more earthquakes. I've been in like 7 earthquakes through my life, significant ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just something about understanding something that's really, really complex, and that we know less about earthquakes than what we know about earthquakes. So there are many questions, and I think there are a lot of opportunities for students to participate in this sort of learning about this great puzzle.
Will one of these students eventually someday be able to come up with something to predict when an earthquake may happen? I know we can't now, but is that possible? Do you believe in the future?
I think that, currently we're at the point now where we can give reliable forecasts of earthquakes, much like weather forecasts. But the actual sort of prediction, like it's going to happen here, it's going to be this big, and it's going to happen on this date, that's something that's probably pretty far off. And you have groups of people, groups of scientists who are very, sort of interested in saying, yes, this could be possible. Some say, no, it's never going to be possible. But I'm really I'm really enthusiastic about the creativity and the insight that our future students are going to have, and we may make some major breakthroughs, and it may be one of Alyssa's students that figures it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd be proud of that, huh?
I sure would.
You sure would.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on up. Thanks for coming up from Southern California and putting in those little doodads on the computers to tiny seismographs, in effect, huh?
Yes.
And
exactly.
then hooked up to Stanford University and through people's computers and through computers in the schools. Thanks for bringing him up.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks for teaching your students.
You bet.
And if someone else, maybe there's other teachers out there that might be interested in something like this, should they contact you? Who should they contact?
They need to talk to Alyssa and Key McMurry.
Okay, so Alyssa, and you're with the South Bend School District?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
That's where you go. All right, thanks a lot for coming in, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Sunny 102.1. It's 19.